Revenge trading. We're going to talk about it today in the trading recap. And I got to say, today was a doozy because of some revenge trading, and I was lucky to get out green just barely. So happy about that. But anyways, well, let's go ahead and dive into it. It's October 19th here, Tuesday. Hope you guys are having a good week. Today, I traded. Let's see. Well, let me tell you. First off, I'm up 111 bucks on the day, which is actually kind of pathetic. Once I go and show you my performance for today and show you where I was at, so I'm not completely disappointed today because it is green, but I'm disappointed in just my last portion of the day and what I did in regards to some revenge trading. So let me show you real quick. I traded basically two stocks today. It was FTEK, FTEK, and KAVL. KAVL was the main one in play for me. I think it went up to about 50% gain today, so that was the one I was mainly trading. And let's look at this real quick. This is my performance right here, starting positive and chopping around just a little bit here and there, and then finally gaining some traction, got all the way up to 500 and what was it, 557 bucks or 577 bucks. So excellent gain right there. I definitely should have walked away. That's hindsight. But anyways, I had a massive loss. So I'm going to show you that on KAVL. Real quick, let's take a look. Like I said, I traded FTEK, but that was... I traded just a few times here and there. The problem with FTEK, I found, looking at it, was just that it kind of chopped around a bit and there weren't any good solid run-ups. There was one here, but it was so quick, it kind of flashed up. Other than that, there were a little bit smaller runs, so I was kind of trying to scalp, get in and out on some of the breakout zones. This was kind of one of them, so I had a good trade in there. But other than that, just a few trades on it, just because it kind of went sideways. Now, KAVL, this one I had a lot more trades on. It seemed to be flowing better. When I say flowing, I mean there seemed to be more shares traded, and that there were, the bid and the ask were flowing more frequently. Therefore, it seemed like I could buy in and get out smoother than I could with FTEK. FTEK was more like stagnant. And anyways, on this one, we had a couple different nice run-up zones we had earlier this morning. Now, I didn't get to the market till later today. So I started trading. Let's see if my earliest trade here for you guys wasn't until 1 o'clock Texas time here. So I didn't even get in until here. But I think that was my first trade right in this zone here. Got in for a trade there. And just kind of traded this all throughout. As soon as we had this pullback here, realized it was kind of going back up. Now, it was a little tricky because I would have expected this to, as if it did its run up and then this huge sell off, maybe pop up a little bit and then sell off more. But it kind of corrected there and just kept going uphill, which was great. But I knew there would be risk here, at the previous high. I'm glad I spotted that. We did have a real quick breakthrough, but it sold off after that. And so I just had a ton of trades kind of back and forth on this one, and started doing a little bit better. Like, as I traded more and more, my trades got a little bit more accurate and a little bit bigger. So I started doing better with this, but I think that was also a bit of my downfall. So this is the real area I had problems with. As you can see, it's just a nice chart all the way up, till right here. And I think there were a lot of traders on this. It was trading smooth, like I said. and nice couple areas where, you know, run up, pull back, run up again, pull back a little bit, and then, you know, keep running up. And, you know, for the most part with a lot of stocks, they'll do that until they won't anymore. And this was kind of that spot. This is where we kind of hit the peak. And I was doing pretty well at this point, and what happened to me here is as it pulled back here, we had this, well, first off, we had this second test of the peak high at 275, and I was a little hesitant. Saw it go up, took a real quick scalp trade on it, and as it was pulling back, I was thinking, okay, this could be an area where we pull back just a little bit, and then, you know, maybe retest for the third time, and maybe get a breakthrough on the fourth if this is showing strength. And so I kind of anticipated that. That's what I was thinking going into this. And what happened is I started accumulating, so I started buying a few shares here and there, and I think I was buying rounds of like 1,000. So, you know, would get in, drop a little bit more, and this is where I kind of fell into a bad trait, which is averaging down on a losing position. And as it was, you know, going down a little bit more, I just thought to myself, oh, I can buy in and we'll get that retest. And I guess that was just my ego and my confidence from all earlier today, you know, going all the way up to 500, whatever it was, $577 was, you know, feeling confident in my trading. And I just got too cocky on this one, and averaged down. We had a, you know, big sell-off here, sitting in not a good position, and I should have just taken the loss, taken my ego out of it, and you know, yeah, taken the loss. I still would have been green. I just would have taken away a good chunk of that profit. Instead, I held it, and you know, we got down into this zone, and then I told myself, okay, I cannot. This is a huge, you know, I can feel and see the momentum building up to the downside here. Because as we got down into here, it's just like, okay, this thing, I'm pretty sure the party's over, because it would have to bounce and correct and reclaim this whole area, which I just didn't think was possible. And the other part of it being it's towards the end of the day, which is not good. I like to be flat at the end of the day, meaning I'm out of all my trades. And yeah, so we got down in here, and I sold it, and I'm glad I did. And let's see, I went all the way down. That's when I went from $478 to being up $16 on the day. Now, mentally, I told myself, I knew this was kind of a trigger point for me. Gold went all the way down to $16, and I just told myself, all right, here it is. I'm feeling emotional. I need to be very conscious of revenge trading here, because I know I'm going to want to do it, and the fact that I lost so much of my profit today. And I was conscious of that, but there were just, I guess at some point I was thinking, let me get back to it just a little bit more, and that's always that greed kicking in. And I really kind of lucked out for today. So what happened here is, as it got into the VWAP area, I felt like the momentum was dying out to the downside, and that we might get a bounce, which I thought might be an opportunity, kind of maybe that bounce off VWAP, and take just a good little trade here to get me back in just a little bit better green state. So started accumulating right here. And lo and behold, we get a continuation sell-off. So now I'm getting back in that stage of, now I'm pissed at myself because I'm going red, and I'm just anticipating a bounce, and we just never got it. And that's the reality of it. Sometimes the market here like this, you know, the stocks, when you really have momentum to the downside, there's so many times I think when we get a huge flash down that we'll get a bounce, but that's not always the case. And that's kind of how it was here. Just had this bleed off, and it's really, really tough, because then all the people going long, you know, started having to drop their positions. And anyways, lo and behold, we got all the way down in here, and I wasn't keeping track of the time. Market closed, and I still had my position. So I knew I had to sell and get out, but I was still kind of anticipating some kind of correction, at least some kind of a bounce. And so I put a order to sell because I had an average price of 230. So I put a sell order after hours to sell at that point. And I didn't know if we were going to get it, but we, right in this zone, boom, we got this pop, and it happened super fast. So I really got lucky on this fill. Otherwise I would have had to sell and go in the red for the day. But yeah, I at that point I was throughout this whole thing, I was realized 88 bucks on the day, but in this position as it was rolling down, I was like negative 478 or something, which is pretty bad, going from all the way, being up 500 bucks to now being down, 500 is a horrible feeling. But I had to kind of kick the ego to the side, put in that sell order. Luckily enough, it flashed up and I got filled. So anyways, that put me up just, what, 20 or 30 extra bucks on the day. So I'm sitting 111 bucks on the day. But that was my real big mistake today. I didn't just swallow my pride and get rid of it. I did hear which was good, but I lost so much. Sold here. But the fact that I decided to, go back in anticipating a bounce, that was just not a good idea. Party was over. I had a nice huge run today, and with that kind of momentum, it's just gonna sell off. So look at the yearly real quick. This is why I love having two charts on my screen here. I have the minute, and then or the daily. Sorry, this is the minute chart right here. Nope, excuse me. This is how I have it. Sorry, if I'm confusing anyone. Left side, I've got the 1 minute chart, and then the right side, I've got the yearly chart. So right here on the right side, if you look at this yearly chart, look at the overall move of this stock. I had a huge run in the past, so we know it's a former runner. That was probably a catalyst then. Huge run up. But then since then, it's dropped hard. And every once in a while I'll have these nice pops, these run-ups. Good for the day traders, but they don't last, they don't sustain, and they just have sell-off. So looking at these two prior days, it's kind of obvious what the pattern is here. And that's why I like looking at this as well, to get an overall trend of where this stock is generally going. And you can tell this was definitely a run-up day. And at the end of the day, the sell-off. So, of course, tomorrow could bring a new day, and it could go on another run possibly. But that's why I don't like sitting in these stocks after hours and then just hoping that we can, get some kind of continuation. That could be the case, but I don't want to, wake up the next day and it be down even way lower than anticipated. So anyways, guys, that was my recap for you guys. Let me know what you traded. I kind of lucked out today, got out green, so I'm happy with that. Let's show you the calendar real quick. Calendar is pretty pathetic for October right now. I've had 9 green days, which is great. 3 red, good ratios there. Horrible amounts on my red days. So, well, these two aren't that bad. 66 and negative 100. Here was 1,000. So that was a huge impact to the month. And yesterday I was sitting negative until I finished the day and finished up 494 bucks on the day, which brought me back to positive for the month. So I was happy with that. And today, I was feeling great with, what was it, 577 was my high. Yeah, I could have been sitting in a much better position for the month with 687, but in the day, 100 bucks. So my goal here is to definitely try to end the month positive, and to try to keep myself in check with the risk. Because there's been these days where I've put on great progress, and today, you know, I basically wiped out a ton of it. So I don't want to have that feeling, because it's regret. You get into that emotional state of like, oh my gosh, you know, I got up to so much and lost so much of it. And it's, that's the tough thing about trading and just how it goes. So anyways, I'll quit blabbing now, but we'll see you tomorrow on the next one. And, you know, make sure to subscribe, like, and stay tuned to see how this journey unfolds. And we'll see you on the next one.